Oh,
You
look
got a
at
nice
that turkey.
You got a nice turkey.
Oh my gosh, that's a beautiful bird.
Now we're going to do the entire video of that today, right? So
We
we're
are.
gonna show people how to do it.
Yeah, I made this video right?
It's the glamour shot of the turkey.
And ask me how hard it was.
How hard was it, Todd?
It wasn't. 3 steps. And I've done it like 8 times now, and it always turns out looking like this with a hickory thing, and it's awesome. And the nice thing is
on the Weber grill?
Yeah, on the Weber grill. And no one thinks about it. They think about hot dogs and hamburgers, but that does look good.
All right, so it's going to make Thanksgiving beautiful. Also today, we got some epic stuff. You picked the wrong woman to grope, and the guy is now trailing blood all around Liberty Park. We'll tell you about that. Also, stovetop stuffing pans for Thanksgiving. That'll fit right in with your turkey video.
It will. Also, counterfeit bills. Started in St. George. Someone is passing bills. And Michael Bublé is back.
You know, this was pretty cool, though, because he actually quit his entire career because his son had pediatric cancer.
Aren't you kind of telling the whole story now?
Okay, I'll wait.
Should we save that for when we do it?
Fine.
Okay, all right. Tell me about the woman that this guy messed with.
Detectives who were trying very hard not to giggle during the press conference are requesting help from the public to identify a groping suspect who was...
Which isn't funny, obviously.
So far, not funny at all, but here's what happened. This woman was jogging. She happened to carry a small knife with her around Liberty Park.
So that's out in the open.
Yeah, it's pretty. That part's scary. An adult male grabbed her from behind, and she fought back and stabbed him several times.
I thought it was like almost how many times? It was a ton.
And this is according to the detective. Apparently, she carries with her a small knife. She had that in her hand, ready to deploy, and she did.
She runs with it in her hand.
Several times. I used to do that. Before it became a bad idea. Interestingly, though, so the victim last reported seeing the suspect limp in the direction of a bus stop near Liberty Park. Once again, this is all the phrasing of the detectives. They're looking for DNA from the blood on the blade, and they said, look, it's extreme, but in her case, it worked to her advantage.
Why is she apologizing?
Oh, no, that was the detective, and I'm like, you go, girl. You picked the wrong woman to try to attack.
Well, if it's deep enough and it gets infected, he's going to eventually have to go to the hospital. When he goes to the hospital...
Then they explain, how did you get all those stabbing wounds?
And they go, oh, okay.
Because she was doing
Cops, we have him.
So she's obviously trained, and I really admire this woman because traditionally it's the hard, and I've had self-defense lessons before, and the hardest one to defend against is when they attack you from the back and they knock you down.
Right.
Because you're on your face, and so she had learned how to angle around, so she had gotten him several times up, down, and down the side of his left side and his left leg.
What a douche.
So he, screamed and ran off. And so I'm so proud of you. I don't think it means we should all be carrying knives, but I am so freaking proud of you. That was amazing.
That was a good job.
And hopefully we'll see somebody showing up with several small stab wounds soon.
Bet you that was surprising.
Yeah, you didn't think that was going to happen, did you, buddy?
What is the story behind this millionaire who's a shipping magnate?
Oh, this is really interesting. Now, everybody knows about this. This poor kid. We're talking about, Josh Holt, and he was a Mormon missionary in Venezuela. He met his wife there. He moved back after they got married, and they had a little apartment, and they were settling into married life, Venezuela. And for some reason, in Caracas, and for some reason, the police raided them and said, he's stockpiling weapons in his apartment, and he's a terrorist. It's like, there was absolutely no possible concept that this was happening.
So they figured it out and they let him go, and everybody's happy.
He's been in prison for over a year, and his health is he's in desperate condition physically, and his parents here have been desperately trying everything they could.
I thought Venezuela was friends with us.
Apparently not, and there's something very screwy because 3 different times when they've had court hearings, the judge just didn't show up. So there's something going on, and it's at the point now where Senator Hatch even made a statement, and he's been trying to work with the U.S. government. And so here's Senator Hatch talking about how long it's been.
This Friday marks 1 year since Josh Holt was unjustly taken captive in Venezuela. It's a devastating anniversary, but an important time to remind Josh and his family that we are still anxiously engaged in the fight for his freedom. Venezuela is in the midst.
So it's interesting. So they have new help now because, as you can imagine, trying to launch an international defense is rather expensive. For some reason, Wilmer Repete is funding the defense now. He's a Venezuelan businessman. He's a millionaire.
Right.
And he suddenly said, I'm going to step in. I'm going to start paying for this. And
this gets weirder and weirder.
No one's really clear on why this mysterious millionaire is doing it, and he refuses to explain or to talk to anybody.
He also has some ties in his shipping business with Venezuela. So he does and might have some leverage of some sort.
It was very strange, but yeah, he's still friends with the president's family, and so there is some hope
There you go.
that they're going to be able to put this together. But I mean, Josh he's in terrible shape. The only
You
thing
said
they
he was
have,
kind of he was chubby.
he was a heavier gentleman before he
I mean that in a good way.
before he got married and moved to Venezuela, and they have
Getting
kind of a
married.
long distance. Yeah. Long distance. It's true. You're married now. But they had one long distance shot of him that they managed to get from the prison yard.
Right.
And he's cadaverously
Skin
thin.
and bones.
He's terribly, terribly.
Well, now that this guy knows the president's family.
So there's some hope. There's some hope that maybe this will get jumped into, and that they'll actually manage to get this moving. But the whole concept of why it's been so mysterious and why they have fought so hard to keep him in there, to the point of judges not showing up for hearings.
That's weird.
Everyone is still at the point where, I mean, even Senator Hatch, who you would assume would have like the best international intelligence ties, he's like, there's no logical reason for this.
I don't get it.
And that's the thing that's so
There's
weird.
something we don't know.
But the fact that they're picking him as an international terrorist, storing, yeah, because you store weapons in your apartment.
There's
you
so
do
many.
that.
You'd had so many other choices.
It's really weird. In any case, so fingers crossed, and hopefully this new infusion of money and possibly influence is going
Right.
to help Josh.
Okay, let's. Yeah, he knows the president's family.
It's very
I
bad.
need to ask Daisy something. Hang on. Daisy, are donuts really popular in England? Not as popular.
What about
as
Krispy Kreme donuts?
Krispy Kreme donuts? Do you have? Yes? No.
No, we have Dunkin' Donuts.
You have
So,
Dunkin'. Okay.
yeah.
Thank you.
Let's be honest, Dunkin'.
She says they have Dunkin' Donuts, not so big in England with the donut thing.
That's because they haven't had Krispy Kremes yet. Krispy Kreme's just opened several outlets over in London, and they thought, this is so clever, let's do this. And this was on Twitter all over yesterday.
Right.
They were so pissed off. They said, we're going to partner with Uber.
Uber?
You can contact Uber on your phone, and Uber will deliver a free box of freshly made Krispy Kreme donuts to your home or office.
Oh my goodness.
So at this point, you're like, holy crap, I'm so on that. And it was a huge amount of boxes, it really was.
Right.
Except for there was just a couple of problems. First of all, Krispy Kreme came up about halfway through the morning going, hey, yeah, you've been trying to get those donuts. Well, the response has been overwhelming.
Of course it is. Of course it is, because all you have to do is go, Krispy Kreme. Hello.
So all day through Twitter, everyone was angrily posting their Uber pictures that said, we didn't find a match for Krispy Kreme. I mean, all day, like really furious pictures. Celebrities were jumping and people in the houses apart. I'm like, we didn't get our Krispy Kreme.
That's what
We've been waiting
happens.
for the
Yes,
Krispy Kremes."
yes.
And so nobody's really sure what actually happened, but apparently
They ran out.
only a few people ever said they ever got boxes of the Krispy Kremes. And for everybody else, Uber suddenly said, we have no idea what you're talking about.
See,
So
here,
they're calling this the Great London Donut Disaster. I'm
it
certain
is.
on the scale of awful, it's not as bad as, say, testicular cancer, but it's pretty sad
why'd you go there?
because of Love Actually. No, not Love Actually. It's Notting Hill. Don't you remember?
He didn't have testicular cancer.
No, his friend was talking to him, and he says, this is horrible. I can't find my glasses. I'm going to the cinema with Julia Roberts. And his friend goes, so it's bad, like on a level of testicular cancer? And then he finds his swimming goggles, so he uses those instead.
Got it.
How can you not remember this? You just saw Notting Hill the other night.
I don't know.
Every woman out there knows what I'm talking about.
So I have a quick question
Yes.
for you, because I saw this yesterday about Uber. And this guy was unloading on Uber and how they marked it down as far as how much the drivers are making. And he went through the examples, and he was very succinct. And he was talking about it. He had a Suburban, right? And he said, I did a lot of work from the airport, and I would go here, and I'd go from Dallas to Fort Worth or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
And back and forth, and he made a certain amount of money, and he could pay for his gas and could pay for the tolls, and he still came out ahead. And they started complaining about that Uber has set up all these charges now that they have to pay, and,
that's
and how
disappointing.
it's not worth his time anymore. And that was his full-time job.
See, that's what's so frustrating. It seems like every great new idea comes out, and then they start, oh, this is good, this is getting profitable. And then they start like digging in
Right.
and digging in and digging in. Like,
Right.
I hope it's worth it to you because you've now destroyed your own product.
Facebook. Sorry.
And if you can't, you're right. If you can't work and make
Right.
it feasible for you, then there's always going to be somebody else who comes up behind you who is not going to be as brutally expensive.
And so like Lyft and some of the other
Yeah, and that's
services.
such a shame because Uber was such a great idea, right up to the point where they started screwing over their own people.
And it's not affecting the passengers; it's affecting drivers.
Yeah, I mean, it's just disappointing.
And so maybe fewer and fewer, maybe change to another. But he was like really upset, which I could totally understand because they totally, with their little change, dismantled his income for the month.
I hope it was worth it. Because, yeah, I mean, it's a ridiculously lucrative company for the owners. And they're about to take it public, so you know that it's doing well. So it's like, why do you have to do that and kind of, stick it to the guys who are helping you? Oh, well. So anyway, that's the sad story of London and the Krispy Kreme disaster.
We're so sorry.
But this is something really cool, and I'm actually going to get Zoe one of these for Christmas.
I saw this.
Isn't this cool?
It is cool.
Hijab Barbie. Now, this makes me really happy. This is the latest doll in the She-Ro collection. And I bought Zoe her first Barbie. I finally caved and gave in because it was the normal-sized Barbie that looked like a human being instead of a freak. And
so
I wanted her
the
to
waist
have
wasn't like this, and the chest wasn't like
unnatural legs.
And the butt wasn't like that.
Yeah, and for any one of us who's trying so hard to give your kids a positive body image, and it just gets harder and harder.
Can we see it? Can we see it?
That was the only one I was going to allow her. So this is the new one. Isn't she beautiful? She is an Olympic fencer, and Mohammed became the first American to compete in the games while wearing a hijab. She
kicked butt.
And she said, "I'm proud to know that little girls everywhere can now play with a Barbie that chooses to wear a hijab. This is a childhood dream come true." Now, I absolutely love the idea of it because Barbie is realizing they're going to have to actually start representing the world more and the world image.
It's a human thing to do.
Well, but if they want to attract little girls anymore, because there were a lot of parents like me who are like, I'm not going to give my kids this unnatural body image with,
I can see it.
And so it's really cool. So I just love her face. I loved her beautiful excitement, and she's an Olympic fencer, and she's this amazing role model for girls. And now they get to have someone who represents them a little bit better. I mean, if you think about it, it's back in the 70s when they finally did this huge push for African-American dolls of color, or like Asian dolls, because little girls were playing with a doll that didn't look like them. And what sort of, where's your place in the world?
One thing you're going to notice this Christmas more than the last 4 or 5 years, something that's been growing, is when you go down the toy aisles, a lot of the pink is disappearing. A lot of the pink is disappearing because it's like pink means this is a girl aisle and this is girl toys, and stuff like that. And also in the boys aisle, they're marketing, with pictures of girls on the covers of the games and the stuff. So it's like, oh, everyone can play with this, So it's a truck, but it's for boys and girls. And so they're kind of opening that up every year more and more. And so the princess stuff and all that, you always picture that aisle that's just pink. It's not so much pink anymore.
Well, I mean, Zoe's room looked like a princess exploded all over it when she was born. But the point is that you're right. I was volunteering in her class, and these are first graders, and somebody was saying something about boys' toys and girls' toys.
Right. And
Zoe and her two little friends stood up aggressively and went, "There's nothing wrong with that. We can play with anything we want to." And as a matter of fact, one of Zoe's best older young male friends, who is now in 5th grade.
Don't make it sound like that. You just made it sound like a date thing.
No.
Don't do that.
He's one of her buddies.
It scared me.
He's in 5th grade now, and he feels like it's time he wanted to get rid of his dolls, and so he gifted them to Zoe.
Nice.
And so that's why I think she pokered up, because she's just like, "What do you mean? Anyone can play with anything." But I
think that the one thing that I've done, and Erin has done well, this is our only claim to fame.
We've confused Zoe.
Is that she hunts for bugs in a tutu, which is perfect. That's perfect for me. So she's out catching. Her pockets are full of pill bugs, potato bugs, and she's got a grasshopper here and praying mantis over here in her tutu, which is perfect because it's like you can get dirty and have fun, and you can
And if your son wants to have a tutu while he hunts for bugs, I've got a couple extra.
I have one.
We can all even them out. It's fine.
And it kind of cuts down on the whole glitter thing, which I still have glitter places you don't want to know.
Glitter is the herpes of craft supplies.
Really
if you haven't
is.
heard that phrase, let me be the first to share it with you. It never gets out of the crevices. Not out of the carpet, not out of your ears. Yeah, you'll be finding it like months later out of your clothes.
And then they decided they were going to make micro glitter, which is smaller and harder to clean up.
Yeah, you can't pick it up with a vacuum cleaner.
No, you can't.
Yeah, they actually had revenge mail companies where you could put in someone's address, and then they would send them the package, and they'd rip it open and go poof, and all the micro glitter would come
It's
out.
from Australia. They made them stop. It was that bad.
And I think they labeled it a noxious substance.
Yeah.
Which prevented them from mailing it anymore.
It kind of popped too, so it had a little bit of a.
It was evil.
Oh my gosh.
It's a pity we never got to use that before it stopped. Huh?
I know. Well, we can make one.
It's not the same.
All right, let's get some information.
All right, Daisy's in the Gephardt Daily Newsroom. She is brought to you by Utah Credit Approval. Look, bad things happen to good people, but that shouldn't stop you from getting a reliable automobile and repairing your credit. You can do that by giving them a call at Utah Credit Approval at 801-921-9819. Also by the Vein Clinic. Now, I just had a procedure done at the Vein Clinic just this last week, and I'm stunned at how fast I've been feeling better. And you will be too. All you need to do is get some information. So why don't you go to theveinclinic.com and set up your own consultation so you can see how nice your legs can look again. Also by All Utah Plumbing, Heating, and Air. John is running a $69 special right now. This is the perfect time to make sure that your heating system is checked out for winter. You can go to allutahplumbing.com. Daisy, my dear, what's going on today?
Thanks, Todd and Erin. Hello, everyone. Here's what's making headlines Wednesday, November 15th on GephardtDaily.com. Mapleton police have released their initial findings in the murder-suicide that claimed a family of 4 and their dog last week. Police say the father, Timothy Griffith, used two different types of firearms in carrying out the deadly assault. Griffith, his wife Jessica, her 16-year-old daughter, and the Griffiths' 5-year-old son were found November 10th after reports that family members had not been seen for a number of days. The family moved from a French-speaking area of Switzerland to Mapleton in July when Timothy Griffith took a job at Nestle Stouffer's. West Valley City police officials have released more information on the officer-involved shooting that sent 2 teenagers and the police officer to the hospital. Investigators now say the policeman was off duty and picking up his mail at a communal mailbox when the teens, unaware that he was a cop, attempted to rob him. Multiple shots were fired and all 3 ended up in the hospital. The officer was taken to University Hospital with a gunshot wound to his right foot and later released. The 2 teens fled the shooting but ended up seeking medical attention at IMC, where they remain hospitalized with non-life-threatening injuries. And a Provo resident and 2 Arizona men are in the Utah County Jail after being arrested for possession of 16 pounds of methamphetamine. Provo resident Nathan Carner, along with Aldolfo Paro and Jorge Almonte, both of Phoenix, were busted after police saw them transfer a large duffel bag into a car known to have been used in previous drug activity. Police pulled them over and used a drug dog to sniff out the contraband. All 3 men were taken into custody and now face multiple felony charges. And time now for a look at your Wasatch Front weather, brought to you by our cool new sponsors at Brio Technologies, Utah's audiovisual specialists. We have a great 2 days ahead of us with daytime highs in the low 60s Wednesday and Thursday. Friday, they will see a bit of a dip with highs only in the 40s and a good chance of rain, maybe even a touch of snow. Nighttime lows will hover in the 30s. That's it for now. For more local headlines 24/7, go to GephardtDaily.com. And Todd and Erin, for now, back to you.
Thank you, Daisy. This is a tell me something good, and I get to do it. I hope I don't mess it up. Divorces can be really ugly. You know that. I know that. She knows that. Here's a case where the husband, the mom got divorced. They have 2 kids living with a mom. He meets a woman, and they get married. He's supportive of his wife and their kids. Ex-wife. And she goes to the doctor and ends up with stage 2 cancer. And everybody's like, well, man, and she had an infection at the time which had to clear up, and during that 7 weeks, it went to stage 4.
It's just terrifying.
So, 2 kids, and Dad's looking at this, and he's like, what are we going to do? Guess who steps up? God, why is this affecting me? Finish it.
Because it is beautiful, though. Because, so Nicola is the ex-wife, the
Right.
mom, and she's fighting this. And she's doing well. She's actually going to a center in Istanbul in Turkey because they specialized in her kind of cancer. And she was doing really, really well.
They said they were shocked by how well.
But then she started running out of money because it cost 80,000 pounds per treatment, which is about $100,000. And we all know
Who's got
that
that,
you
right?
can step up and you will do anything you can to save the life of someone you love.
Here comes the new mom.
And there's maintenance trips to the center to make sure that it's staying stable, and they've gotten all of it.
13,000.
And so she had mentioned some of this to her ex-husband, was just talking about
Oh,
it
yeah.
and asking because
Yeah.
the children would stay with him and his new wife as she was getting this done. Well, she mentioned something to Claire, like between pickup and drop off of the kids.
His new wife.
Who was his new wife. And Claire listened to this and she went, well, this is ridiculous. She said, Nikki's at a point where she's having to make big decisions as money's running out. She may not be able to continue her life-saving treatment. She wrote, I feel this is not an option. The boys need their mom, and she deserves the chance to watch them grow into men and have their own families. So she started a Just Giving campaign to raise funds for her husband's previous wife. They've already raised 38,000 pounds. So that gives her enough for at least the next 2 or 3 trips.
Yeah.
And she says, and I'm not going to stop until she's in complete remission.
Cool.
How many new wives would do something like that?
I can't talk about it anymore.
That's an incredible story.
I can't do it. I don't know why.
Because it's beautiful. It is. It's absolutely beautiful.
More taunting photos came to us from Christopher's.
We're very happy for all of you who have enjoyed your dinners.
We started this. It's a thank you for watching and staying with us and binge watching. I don't know why your endurance is so high, but congratulations and thank you.
We certainly appreciate you.
We send you and 3 friends down to Christopher's to have a wonderful dinner and get to know each other and find out what your wife's name is. And all you have to do to sign up, it's so simple.
Yeah, all you do to enter is to win the dinner for 4 is to drop a comment on one of our Facebook pages on the show today. Maybe you're watching on Get Part Daily or Get Part Approved or most likely on the Todd and Erin page. Just say something random. Hey, I like Christopher's. Karen, hi, sweetie, so do I. Thelma, so do I. It's pretty simple. So all you have to do is drop a comment. You're officially entered to win. Then on Friday, we draw a winner, and it's not even remotely complex because you know we're not that bright, and if we made it tough, we couldn't remember any of it anyway. We have a surprise visitor in studio. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you doing, Erin?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is John Whitehead. I am extremely fond of this man right now because he heads the vein clinic over in the Riverton location. And you worked on my leg last week.
We sure did, last Tuesday.
And you didn't realize what a mess you were getting into
No,
with
we
me, did
didn't.
you?
We didn't. I got to tell you, Erin, it's kind of funny because I was listening to you talk about Zoe and the tutu thing, and I've got a little girl that's 6 years old. Her name is Julia, and it's the same exact thing. So she's got her little tutu on. She's out collecting the pill bug and the potato bug, but she calls them roly-polies.
Zoe does that too. The roly-poly bugs?
Yeah, the roly-polies.
I think that might be the Utah thing.
It probably is because when I was a kid, it was always potato bug. So
You're raising that girl right. That
Yeah,
makes me
yeah.
proud of you.
Yeah, so, but, tutus, whether it's that, the princess, she certainly loves her Elsa and her different costumes that she has, and we couldn't wait for Halloween to be any more fun for her than to be that princess. But, again, she's also doing her other things that are, like you guys were talking about, more on the boy side of
Just
life,
out of curiosity, who does the laundry in your house?
Well, sadly enough, it's me.
So you know the exercise in terror when you reach into her pockets before you wash your stuff, and that comes like the first cockroach of spring or something.
Yeah,
And you're like,
I've experienced that, and
Yeah,
unfortunately, I should be a lot better at checking the laundry, and I am failing. And now my wife is on me because we do have the underneath one that you're supposed to be putting your whites in, and the top one that's supposed to be the darks.
oh, the
and,
fancies, yeah.
Yeah, and so I haven't quite grasped that there's 2 different colors and that you don't wash them all at the same time. So, but anyway, yeah.
That
so
sounds very cunning to me because you are a highly trained medical professional. I can't help but feel that perhaps you're pretending some ignorance in this.
I might be
because you are somewhat of a smart monkey.
Maybe I'm a little bit lazy when it comes to homework, So.
Nah.
But yeah, so anyway, so we saw you last Tuesday, and that was a lot of fun. We had a good time in our little procedure room, and we were, kind of discussing some of the things that we see in our clinic, and we were looking at, obviously our patients are having heavy legs, they're having pain, fatigue, cramping. One of the things that a lot of people think is that there has to be some kind of an outward sign.
That is a good point. I
Yeah.
wouldn't expect it until I actually saw some bulging or something,
Sure.
discoloration.
So they're thinking, I've got to have varicose veins, I've got to have ulceration, maybe have some discoloration. And what we're finding is that a lot of people have no symptoms, no outward signs at all, and they're just symptomatic. So, if you have a school teacher, maybe a hairdresser, a pharmacist, there's a number of different people who actually are experiencing symptoms during the day. It might be heaviness, cramping, they can have fatigue. And they may
just
not
that
have,
exhaustion and the big heavy legs.
Right.
I just don't feel like I have any energy
Sure.
anymore, and I'm miserable. And
Now, one of the things, I suffered from this disease, and what I called this person was a bench seeker. So when you go to Disneyland, for instance, and I would go with my young kids and my wife, and I was the one that was constantly looking for a bench.
You were the bench guy?
I was the bench guy.
Ah,
It was so
dude.
horrible. So I would be like going to the next ride, and I'm like, I gotta sit down. My legs they're just killing me. And I didn't have swelling. I didn't have varicose veins. I don't have any skin discoloration. But one thing I did have was restless legs. So
Interesting.
At
I didn't realize
nighttime,
that was a symptom either.
Sure, restlessness. And so I would experience severe restless legs. It would hit me. right around 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and it would interrupt my sleep. And but what's funny is that our director, Jed Nesbitt, he's board certified in venous and lymphatic medicine. He actually went to work on me, and my symptoms were actually gone within a week.
That's amazing.
It is amazing. Now, one of the other things, so a lot of our patients may not, they may have some signs of venous disease. Some of the signs that you see, so this is outside of symptoms now. Now we're talking about signs. These are patients with varicose veins. So they've had, their mom that's had their 2 or 3 children.
You're 35 and your legs look
Sure.
like they're 50. And you're like, great,
and they're
thanks.
unhappy because their veins hurt.
Yeah.
So that when they're standing, they're having throbbing, they're having some of the similar symptoms, but it's also their vein is complicating that by causing the more symptoms. In gentlemen, oftentimes just discoloration of the skin. Some people get scarring of the skin. It's a woody texture. A lot of people think, well, this, they go to their doctor and he's like, you're just getting older. This is just something you're going to have to live with.
Yeah, thanks. That's inspiring.
Yeah,
Sure.
and obviously, once scarring has occurred, it's not going to go away. It's no different than getting cut with a kitchen knife. You've got a scar, and we can improve the way that scar looks by going in and repairing the underlying problem. But
it'd be nice if you actually went in there first
Sure.
so that you didn't have to try to reverse it.
I would love it if we could see, fast forward, not necessarily fast, but reverse patients, take them back 20 years to their 55, 60s, and take them back when they're 35 and get them in and help them before that becomes such a problem.
See, that's why I really like you and Angelia. These guys have worked on like the hardcore cases, the cases that all the other venous doctors have kind of given up on, and they go, let's send them over to John and Angelia. Maybe they can do something with them. And you've reversed some really brutal cases, but
Sure.
the nice thing though is that you've come to a point where like you've got procedures now that can, between you and Angelia and the aftercare, you can make legs look almost literally like they did before you had children, the way they did 20 years ago. And, I'm like literally your worst case scenario because I've done everything from stripping to all the laser stuff. But by the time I got to you, I thought I knew everything. And I was checking the messages on my phone while you
While
you were doing the procedure. And I'm like, okay.
One of the things that part of like what you were talking about is education. Patient education is key, and spending the time with the patient in their rooms. So we spend a lot of time during the process of actually seeing and evaluating the patient. We want the patient to be well informed, well understanding what they're coming to see us for, and what can be done to help them. We certainly don't want them to come in and be hesitant, worried, and certainly if they have any questions, they're always welcome to contact us anytime. We're very good about answering questions. Angelia is extremely good about patient education, and our staff has been together for we've been together as a large staff for 10 years now.
Wow, I had no idea.
Yeah, so between Jed Nesbitt, myself, we have an awesome team in South Ogden, an awesome team that's working in Riverton, and it's just been a really good experience for us all.
I've noticed that during procedures because everyone came in and they were doing impressions and voices and stuff trying to keep me entertained, and I'm like, this is like better than like cable TV. This is amazing. The one thing that I never know how to say this because I don't want to freak anybody out, but I've seen a lot of these random laser clinics that are not actually manned by anyone who has medical experience, and they're talking about all the stuff they can do. And just as someone who's been through all of this and comes from a medical family, I always want to scream, please don't go there, because I guess the whole point of wanting you guys to come on and talk is because you're a physician's assistant. This is what you've done for years. And I see these trainees that are like 20 and they're like, here's a laser, go fix something. It really scares me.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason that you go to somebody with a medical background.
Well, you're looking at what we think of as dabbling, for instance. So there is that chance that a person might just do it once a month or once a week.
That's reassuring.
And so you hopefully are going to look at someone who's dedicated in that process, someone who does have experience. Between Dr. Nesbitt and myself, we've got, at this point now, nearly 22 years of combined experience.
You don't even look that mature. I'm kind of shocked, John.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Erin. Thank you. You're so kind.
Sorry. But it's true. I mean, I don't know how to nicely say this to people if they're thinking, oh, I can go anywhere. It's like, no. This is a medical condition. You have to go to a medical practitioner and get this done correctly.
Yeah, and thank you for pointing that out.
And it's really fun, though, because you do have some amazing new toys. Now, next time you come on, are you bringing some of the toys?
I will bring some of the newest and latest of greatest of toys. You know that Angelia has discouraged me from using my toys today.
I know you were excited.
And so I did bring a bag of toys, but we'll certainly grab the toys and bring them next time.
Cool. Next time we'll also do a before and after so you can see my awful leg before and my vastly improved leg now because it really is exciting to see
Yeah,
those.
and you will be seeing us some more, do some more of that fun stuff.
You're
too.
stuck with me for a while. I'm really sorry, Jonathan. We'll just keep making
we
it
love
fun.
you, Erin. You're welcome anytime to come hang out
I'll
with
keep
us.
bringing donuts. Will that help?
Oh, absolutely.
All right. What's the easiest way to get a hold of you guys? You can go
Well,
to theveinclinic.com.
Theveinclinic.com. That's our website. The other way, if you want to try to remember numbers, is 84480-VEINS. So
Okay.
I just say 84480-VEINS.
Good.
And then either way, you're going to get a hold of us. Theveinclinic.com is certainly going to give you both office locations. The 844 number is going to give you one location. We can actually transfer you to the appropriate location where it's going to be easiest for you to get your care.
Perfect. And they're also on Facebook. You can see all the information about the Vein Clinic there as well if you want to. They do so much in the community. But thank you, John. This is going to be fun. We're going to have a really good
We're
season with
excited.
this. I know,
All
right?
right.
All right. We'll be right back in a couple of minutes. Todd's man crush, Justin Trudeau, is out and about, and I've got a report for Todd. It'll make him so happy. We'll be right back. Todd and Erin's Morning Stream, brought to you by Utah Credit Approval. Bad things happen to good people, helping you on the road to good credit with just the right car. Go to utahcreditapproval.com or call them at 801-404-7201. Also brought by Columbus Travel. Columbus Travel has an epic sale on cruises through the 21st of October. You can get the hotel and everything you can imagine just for less than the price you would of simple airfare. You have to talk to them first at columbusvacations.com. And All Utah Plumbing. Your home deserves the best. 24-hour emergency service at allutahplumbing.com. Did you know you can catch the Todd and Erin Morning Stream any time of the day or night on Facebook, YouTube, and SoundCloud, and GephardtDaily.com?
So, Jeff, you do mortgages, right?
I do.
How do you do?
Well, you go to our website, 4minutemortgage.com, fill out the application. We'll call you within one business day. The whole thing takes about a month, start to finish.
We went to the bank
They got really personal.
and went through all of our personal records and all of our finances.
And then there was that little deal about the $8,000 closing costs.
It took like 4 months.
That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah, thanks for your legs, John. Okay, bye. Hi there, we're back.
He's the nicest man ever.
He is a nice guy.
All right, what about the Chevy Blazer cam?
No, not yet.
Not yet?
Not yet.
I want to see it.
No, when
All
it's
right.
time for it, we're going to do it.
Fine. All right. Before we talk about your man crush, let's
we're
talk
going
about
here.
the Provo Hospital that's doing this because I think this is freaking genius.
It is. And Utah Valley Hospital, they call it the baby factory. Because, let's face it,
We are a baby factory here in Utah.
that hospital is crazy.
That's like ground zero. Yeah.
1 in 7 women suffer from postpartum mood disorder. And we've seen that in some mild cases, and we've seen that in some horrendous situations. Marie Osmond, she talked about it too in her deal.
Well, I remember when I was having kind of a hard time, you were checking me, just going,
Yeah.
should
Yeah.
I worry? Because you'd been kind of aware of this happening, and one of the people we worked with, his wife had
Right.
postpartum depression, and it's
and
serious.
It was
it's hard.
big. And the detachment that you can have from the family.
And the guilt and the anxiety of I'm doing this wrong because as new moms, you know how it is. Everything you do in life is you just want to get this right. And if you feel like you're screwing everything up and you have those terrifying feelings, it's just...
So what they're doing is that they're meeting and talking with the expectant moms when they get to the hospital. And they
Smart.
talk right after the birth. And they're kind of explaining maybe some of these things and what to look for to the husbands as well. And then they go and check after the mom goes home. They have her come back in. And the spouse too, because have you noticed anything different, yada, yada. So I thought it was just a really good program.
That's freaking
For
genius.
the baby factory. It's kind of wonder why this wasn't going on.
I really do wish they did that across the board because it is such a smart idea. And can you imagine that, number one, the suffering that it would save, but number two, the quality of care would vastly improve and
Right.
the quality of the family. I mean, it's a big deal.
And they do it with so many people. We had a friend who had to have a leg amputated because of an infection, and they counseled the boogers out of him, as he said.
Yeah.
They came in and said, okay, listen, so these are some of the things that are going to happen. and they went through it. The doctors went through the medical part, but they also had psychologists go in and say, okay, this is going to be a major change for you. You're going to feel like this. Answer some questions, go back and forth, and it's just really a smart thing because you never know. My heart surgery was like that, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Because that was crazy. All kinds of crazy.
Yeah, I remember. All right, Justin Trudeau, your man crush, right at the far end. Can you give that to me?
No.
You're not going to read it. This is mine. All right, Todd loves Justin Trudeau, who is, of course, the Prime Minister of Canada, because he's cool and he's really incredibly smart. And they asked him about quantum physics once as a joke.
And he nails
And
it.
he started rattling it off, and all the journalists were like, I have no idea what you're saying to me right now.
And he meets the refugees at the airport.
And he's just...
And welcomes them to their new country.
I mean, he's very cool. He had to go to, he was in Manila
Yeah.
in the Philippines. He was doing some work there and going through some of the international relief efforts and different things. But,
This is a funny story. Watch this.
But this is so sweet. He saw Jollibee Foods Corps and
Chicken.
And he's got Jones for their fried chicken. So he's kind of slithered in there. And once again, this is the Prime Minister of one of the biggest North American countries. And he goes in, and then there's this huge crowd pressing their faces against the glass because he'd been taking selfies with people and writing notes to their kids and stuff. And he goes, can I get the chicken to go? So he's walking in, holding his bag of fried chicken, and he's still taking selfies. But it's very cool. He had actually got into a huge thing during the summit, because there's a lot of world leaders there, pushing a lot harder on childhood health and safety, and the fact that so many of these refugee camps are so dangerous for kids. But I love the fact that he focused that way. But he's still trying to take selfies, and he's trying to quietly eat chicken on the side.
You know what's funny about this story? It's a non-story.
But he's adorable.
That's how popular he is. It's like, he had chicken. Tell me more. Did he have a breast or maybe a drumstick? It's a non-story. It's a non-story. It's just about Justin Trudeau. That's it.
I just like the fact that everybody at Jollibee said, this is the best thing that's ever happened to us, ever.
And he didn't get to eat.
Probably not. He's probably back in his palatial hotel room eating cold fried chicken as we speak. But I just wanted you to know what your man crush was up to today.
It's always good to know. He likes chicken. We should, we talked yesterday about iPhones. And they were talking about thumb recognition and all that stuff.
Oh, there's big bragging about the facial recognition systems and the software, and they're talking about how precise they are, that there's no way they could mistake you for anyone else.
The NSA has these videos and stuff in airports, and because of certain measurement points and all this stuff, even with a beard.
Yeah, there's algorithms that you look for.
And as that person's walking, the computer can boom and give you, this is who it is, or at least a choice of who that is.
Well, this is the pretty funny Apparently, it's not as genius as they think they are, because Atula and Sana made this discovery earlier this month when their 5th grade son, Amar, walked into the bedroom of their Staten Island home, and he was looking at their iPhone 10s. They both had brand new ones, and he's like, wow, those are fancy. And they went, yeah, but the nice thing is there's no way you're getting access to this phone. And so they're laughing and going, ha, got you there. Well, Amar looks like the spitting image of his mom.
Well, they do.
But he's obviously male, and he's 20 years younger than his mom. But
Right.
he very much has her features and her expressions and stuff. So it was pretty funny. So Amar picks it up, and he's screwing around with his mom's phone for a minute. She goes, no, don't lock that up, you know, because
Right.
after a while it'll lock if you try
Right.
it long enough. And he goes, click, and he breaks her phone, breaks access into her phone, and he goes, yeah, and starts
With
typing
his
stuff.
face.
Yeah, and starts typing stuff. And she's like, how did you do that? And he went, I fooled your facial recognition software. He said, I did your standard expression that you use for pictures, and it picked it up and it identified me as you. So sometimes even getting the similar expression is enough to break the software lock.
I can think of several
Amar, good
ways
for
to
you,
do
by the
this, like while you're sleeping. So he takes your phone, and you're sleeping, like that drool coming down. Or you could say, I could do this.
Well, I think
I
especially
could
if
go
you're
up to you with your phone, and I'd go, close your eyes and give me a kiss.
Yeah. I think most people, if you were going to take your own picture, you'd just be sort of straight ahead, like, click, gotcha.
Right.
And so that's all he's
I still think you should make a face.
So that's what he did, is he imitated the
yeah,
expression.
just like, and then no one can copy that.
Something freakish that's only you.
Exactly.
That's beautiful.
Yes.
I just feel sorry for the iPhone 10 because they came out like, this is the most amazing phone ever in the world. And so far, we know that it's all made of glass, and that if you drop it, you're going to die. We've learned that apparently you can break it in any possible way with all
32
the
degrees.
software.
Well,
and it can't
32, yeah, it won't work.
be used under 32. So here in Utah in winter, it would essentially be completely ineffective. So
Speaking of amazing, They've finally done it.
Explain.
Let's take a look first. Let's take a look at the new stovetop stuffing Thanksgiving pants. And so basically stovetop. Oh, see?
Oh my goodness, my pants are so
I'm
tight.
chafing.
I love how they did this too, like one of those cheesy old,
So
like
smooth.
those cheesy old commercials.
What's somebody to do?
Perfect.
Oh.
We don't.
Oh.
Seriously?
Yeah.
They actually have.
Look, she feels
she's
better.
hysterical. Did you see her?
Uh-huh.
That is really troubling.
Yeah.
Stuff and stretch. Happy Thanksgiving. You're kidding me. That is so wrong.
I know. They're also donating $10,000 of the proceeds to Feed America, and
Which
you
is
can
genius.
You can get them online for $20.
I love the fact that they can expand to 2 times their size.
Exactly right.
That's some serious stuffage.
Oh, may I put to rest a myth about Thanksgiving?
Yes.
Tryptophan.
Oh yeah, the substance in turkey that's supposed to make you fall asleep.
The reason you fall asleep is because you intake a huge amount of protein. This is why the amount of tryptophan in a turkey is minimal. And to get any effect from it, you'd have to eat like 15 turkeys. The whole thing. And you could use those pants. Did you know that?
So basically,
It's a lie.
Aren't you just sleepy because you've eaten a ton of food, and then
Right.
so all of the blood is directed away
To
from
your
your brain to
stomach.
your stomach in order to try to process
And
everything.
you pass out.
Yeah.
Your kids draw a magic marker mustache on you.
They've only done that to you once. Stop acting like you're a victim.
I will never forget
It was just once.
ever.
Just once.
All right.
All right, coming up, I'm really excited about this because you did this turkey video. I actually went and looked it up last night because we were going to use it today, and you
Yeah.
actually put it up maybe a year or two ago on
Right.
YouTube. I didn't realize that you had almost 15,000 views on this. People really care about their turkeys.
Well, it's the time of year, and I thought this could help out, and it's so easy. And
Did you
and
answer
if you're a guy, this is like man points.
It really is cool because there's no splatter and grossness in
Among
the
other
kitchen.
men, and it's also man points with the spouse because she didn't have to cook it.
Yeah, and because it frees up the stove so you can cook all the other stuff. So anyway, we're going to show that to
It
you.
works really easy anyway, so I want you to see it, and it's coming up next.
The Todd and Erin Morning Stream is brought to you by Fink and McGregor, Mortgages Made Simple. If you go to fink-mcgregor.com, you'll find out that you can get a mortgage with a credit score as low as 600. Fink and McGregor, also by the Vein Clinic. If you go to theveinclinic.com, you can schedule an appointment and find out some amazing options for pain-free removal of varicose veins and spider veins. Your legs can look great again with the Vein Clinic. And also by Black Diamond Experts. They're experts in electric, plumbing, heating, and air. They also have a brand new store up in Ogden now. If you'd like to reach them, you can go to blackdiamondexperts.com.
Apply today
and drive away.
At All Utah Plumbing, Heating, and Air, we have the best service and the best warranties. Check us out at allutahplumbing.com.
Welcome back to the Todd and Erin Morning Stream here on GepHartDaily.com. It is the Brio Morning Mountain Cam. This
Oh, wait.
is Brio
I
Technologies.
want to switch this up a
Experts in
little
electric
bit.
lighting
When I
and
tell
sound.
you to, call it that. Hang on a second.
Okay.
All right.
I thought it was the Brio Technologies cam, electric. They're your experts. They know everything. Audio, visual, lighting. And apparently it is now the official, it's the Chevy Blazer cam. It is, ladies and gentlemen, the Chevy Blazer cam, as you can see right there. Here's the funny thing about this, because we actually overlook a golf course, but we had a woman who came storming up the other day, and she was very reasonably upset. She goes,
That's awesome.
"There is a lens sticking out of your window pointing at my house," and she goes, "I want to know what you're doing. What are you?" And I would do this too. I'd be totally ticked off. Like, what's wrong with you freaks? Why is there a camera lens?
Right.
And they had to explain that this was our morning mountain cam sticking out the window. She went, "Really?"
Can we go
That's
back to
just
it?
sad.
I want to see the Blazer cam.
Oh, geez.
There you go. There's an old truck behind the pine tree too, but you know that's looking more and more attractive to me as like a project.
That really worries me. Do I need to go find you another like abandoned trailer somewhere in the middle of a field to keep you busy this winter?
Maybe.
That's going to be cheaper than that Chevy Blazer. I know it is.
All right, so explain
by the way,
video.
I just got a comment on Facebook. Heather says that for real, the Thanksgiving, the stuffing pants, they're already sold out. She said they're getting a new bunch in, but she'd already tried to get them on stovetop stuffing
And they're
on the
done.
website, and they're already sold out, but they're getting more in.
All right. But in time?
Yes.
All right,
it must be.
so the video thing. So I cook in the house, and I took this over Thanksgiving from your mom, because
Thank you.
her house is really small.
No, but it's a lot of work for my mom.
And her paws are a little sore.
Yeah.
And I've done it for how many years? 15, 10, 12, whatever.
I think it was immediately after we got married.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
So anyway, really enjoy it. It's not that difficult, and I thought I got to do something new. And I have a Weber grill, and this is what it looks like.
Hi everybody, it's Todd here, and we're going to do some roasting today on the Weber grill. Oh, by the way, how do you like my new drone camera? Pretty cool, huh? It's a stick. So how do you roast a turkey on a Weber grill? It's easy. As a matter of fact, I'm going to show you in 3 easy steps. Let's get roasting. All right, first of all, let's go through the setup. Baskets are in on either side. We've got the charcoal going, and the flaps are up, as you can see. We're going to put the charcoal half in either basket and then spray down the grill with some vegetable oil and then put the turkey on. Charcoal's going, top vent open 3/4, bottom vent open 1/4, and you put your bird on. Season it any way you want. Put the lid on. 90 minutes, come back and put 8 coals in either side, unlit, on either side, and cover it back up. Within 3 hours, you're going to have a Hollywood-looking turkey. All right, 90 minutes has gone by, and so we are now going to add the other briquettes. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, that's close enough. And then over this side, I'm going to do the same thing. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, doesn't matter. All right, tin foil is off, lid goes back on. Another hour and a half. And this is what you end up with. 3 easy steps. Happy roasting.
They always turn out looking like that. And then it has the hickory flavor. And I cooked a regular one in the oven. No one touched it. Everybody ate that one. And the biggest question I always have is, how long does it take? How many pounds is the turkey? And, there he is. See, he's fine.
Oh,
that was a stunt bird we used.
sad.
It was made out of plastic. And he's fine. Well,
He's
not done.
He's not fine
he's
anymore.
a food. So anyway, 18. I've
You're
done
so immature.
18 to 22 pounds. All takes 3 hours. Every time I've checked it, at 3 hours, it was always done. Anyway,
I always thought it was like 27 hours to make a turkey, because remember we got up at like 2 in the morning to stuff it.
In the old days.
Wow.
I'm the new Todd.
We've come so far.
Technology, right?
It's easy for me to be flippant because I don't do any of the cooking. My job is just to keep the children out of his way.
There
That's
you go.
pretty much my job. I'm fine with it.
All right, we got information coming back here.
Yes, of course, with
All right.
Daisy. She's in the Gephardt Daily Newsroom, and she is brought to you by Fink and McGregor Mortgages Made Simple. This is a lovely place to go to, fink-mcgregor.com. They've got a quiz you can take in 4 minutes, and they'll give you a whole list of mortgage options. Also, it's brought to you by Brio Technologies. They are your experts in electric, lighting, sound, and I was about to say sound and air, but that would be something else. Sound and lighting. They can wrench, they can set up, they can maintain, they can sell, they can do everything that turns you into a high-tech genius. Also by Black Diamond Experts. They are experts in electric, plumbing, heating, and air. Brand new place now in Ogden, even closer to you in Weber County. Just go to blackdiamondexperts.com. Daisy, my darling, what's going on today?
Good morning, Todd and Erin. Hello again, everyone. Here's a look at national and world news for Wednesday, November 15th on GephartDaily.com. 4 people were killed and at least 10 wounded in random shootings in Northern California, but it could have been worse than that. Police say the shooter, whose name has not been released, went on a rampage after a dispute with a neighbor, randomly firing on people, and went to 7 different locations in Tehama County. One of those locations was an elementary school where the man walked onto school grounds and fired through windows and walls with a rifle, wounding at least 2 students. Thankfully, the school was on lockdown and he was unable to get inside. After 6 minutes, the gunman left and was later killed by police. U.S. Attorney General Jeff Sessions told a House panel Tuesday that he has always told the truth about contacts with Russians, although he has no clear recollection of meetings by aides about Russia. The United States top law enforcement officer appeared before the House Judiciary Committee Tuesday as part of the Chamber's Russia investigation and was grilled by lawmakers for more than 5 hours. The House is trying to determine if the Kremlin interfered with the 2016 presidential election and whether any members of Donald Trump's campaign worked with Russian agents in such an endeavor. Sessions denied lying under oath when he previously told the committee he had never met with the Russians, although it was later revealed he'd met with Russia's ambassador twice during the 2016 campaign. And for the first time in more than 40 years, federal lawmakers are questioning the sole authority of a United States president to order a nuclear strike. The Senate Foreign Relations Committee convened Tuesday to examine the issue. Last month, committee chairman GOP Senator Bob Corker of Tennessee said Trump has set the United States on a path to World War III and called the White House an adult daycare center. Tuesday, Senator Chris Murphy, a Connecticut Democrat, echoed Corker's concerns, saying some in Congress are worried that Trump is so unstable and he might, quote, order a nuclear weapons strike that is wildly out of step with U.S. national security interests. That's it for now. For more headlines from across the country and around the world, go to GephartDaily.com. Todd and Erin, back to you.
My dear Daisy. All right, Black Diamond Experts. I was just telling you about them, but I was thinking, especially around this time of year, what a big deal it is because everyone's getting all of their furnaces going again. Everyone's running their heating, and you get that smell, of like the burning dust when you first get it going. So you kind of know that, yeah, it's winter again. But here's something you don't know is that number one, for cost, there's a million things that you can do that actually make your furnace work more efficiently. Now that they have these cycle, like 98% efficient furnaces, you're totally wasting your money installing it if you don't take care of it right. And that's one of the things that Black Diamond guys come in and they go, hey, this is what you do, and just put this together, and they'll give you information as they go along. They did this for a girlfriend of mine who had just gotten divorced, and she was brand new to running her own household and doing all, the standard guy stuff. And the guy was wonderful, sat there with her for a couple of hours and explained how everything works so she knew what to do. But the second thing is also safety, because CO2 and a whole bunch of other maladies can come from a furnace that isn't right, that maybe something's broken or something's not working efficiently. And then it's putting your family's health in danger, which is kind of counterintuitive to everything you do. So it's so much easier now to have them come in and check and make sure everything works for you and that it's done, and they'll show you what to do, and you're done, and then you're okay. And if there is something they need to fix, it's what they quote. There's nothing special or nothing additional. They added the end for nasty surprises. So just go to blackdiamondexpert.com. Make your appointment. You will be very, very happy.
All right, I have a story for you. People who are going to hell.
This is like totally the most bizarre roundabout 360-degree going to hell I've ever seen.
Erin, you win the lottery.
Yes.
You get $127 million. $127 million.
That's freaking epic.
How do you feel?
Are you kidding? I'm quitting my job, number one. Bye, everybody. We'll have a big party in our backyard. I'll let you know.
Am I going with you? Shush. Okay, so, a trip?
Yes, of course you are, baby. I need someone to carry my luggage. Of course you are.
Just a reminder, this is the woman who would sell our dog for $100,000.
Who picks up the dog poop? I do. I pick up the dog poop. And during that period of time, I would give him to you for a gum wrapper. The rest of the time, I'd have to think about it.
But you're the poop master.
Really?
Master General.
Is that really what you're going with? Let's move back to the lottery story, please.
Where was I? Oh, so this lady, struggling mom, is working 3 jobs, trying to scrape by and make a good life for her and her kids. So she's working really hard. Boom, she wins the lottery. Boom, she takes the one lump sum. Boom, she's got $127 million. Boom, she makes a donation to her church. Boom, she goes in for counseling with the pastor. Boom, he sues her for the rest of the money.
Wait, let's go back.
Let's show a picture, shall we?
Okay, here's the girl.
She's
so
adorable.
Happy.
She's adorable.
I've got money and I want to share it with you,
and
which is beautiful.
And her kids are going to get the education and everything's going to work. And she gave $700,000 to Dipwad here.
That's a ridiculous amount of money. $700,000.
They're going to buy some property for the church, and
that's beautiful.
Pastor Dipwad says, you know what? I think I'll sue her. They did private sessions with her and counseling, working her towards the $700,000 thing.
That's what the private counseling was for.
And then he came back and just filed a case of something against her to get the rest of the money. What a dipwad.
She gave him $700,000 and he decided to sue her for more?
For more. Look at her.
Wow.
Look at him. The guy on the right's going to hell. See how that works?
Wow.
Don't be that guy.
Thank you for providing an excellent example for every other religious leader who may want to get a contribution. That's beautiful.
Or someone running for Senate.
He sued her for more money.
There's no explanation for that, folks. No explanation whatsoever.
All right. Hey, when we're coming back, Chris Martin from Coldplay is going to be on a TV show that we all love because it's got a Utah in it. And there's the coolest return story to the big stage after a really tragic family thing. So we'll tell you about it next. The Todd and Erin Morning Stream is brought to you by Fink and McGregor. If you go to fink-mcgregor.com, there's a short 4-minute quiz, and at the end of it, you can find a whole array of mortgage options, and someone will call you back from Fink and McGregor within the next business day. Also by Utah Credit Approval. Go to utahcreditapproval.com because they know that bad things happen to good people, but that shouldn't stop you from repairing your credit and getting a reliable automobile at utahcreditapproval.com. And also all Utah Plumbing, Heating, and Air. John has 24/7 service because he knows that emergencies can happen any time of the day or night. And right now they have a $69 special to check out all your heating systems to make sure they're working well. Just go to allutahplumbing.com.
You know, I was just wondering. Oh, there's the Chevy Blazer Cam.
Oh yay! Hi, Chevy Blazer Cam.
Did you say Chevy or?
I said Chevy.
Oh, okay. It sounded like something else. Someone on Facebook just asked the question, what is the definition of a dipwad? I don't know. Isn't that weird? I don't know. I've said that for years.
I kind of think
since
that guy
I was a kid.
That guy is like an
He's
example of a
dipwad.
I think that's a given that every time you see that little chipmunky face, thank you.
Fake money circulating Utah. Starts in St. George, $100 bill. Give me a $100 bill. It's worth a try.
Really?
Here's the counterfeit. Now that's not bad.
Yeah, but look how faded and beat up it is in the back.
It's supposed to. They're supposed to. They put it in a washing machine
so that
to
it
get it
looks like
wrinkled
it's
up
been
and
well
used. Yeah, here's the real one. We're going to go back and forth on this. So that's a government specimen.
Now,
there.
if you've ever actually having to give someone a $100 bill for whatever random reason, I had one and I tried to use it at Starbucks, and the guy was actually rude to me.
Why?
Like, what are you even thinking? And then
is he
I found
afraid
out.
of money?
Well, no, but what I found out is the most counterfeit bill is the $100 bill, and they're all saying don't do it. And so you have you ever seen the cashier will hold it up to the light to check for the threads?
There's a security band in there. You wouldn't know because we don't have a $100 bill.
So,
but there's actually a little line. If you look at it, you'll see this little, looks like a piece of floss, one straight line. And that's what they're looking for. Evidently, people haven't been doing that enough because the bills are now circulating and now looking in all different directions.
Yeah, heading up and down the Wasatch Front. So yay.
Because you know what happens is if you get stuck with it, this is the moral dilemma you would be in. So let's say you ran a store. And let's say someone came in and bought something for $100, right? And they left with $100 of your stuff. And then all of a sudden, later in the day when you're counting the money, you look down and you go, hey, this one looks funny. And then you look at it carefully and you hold it up to the light and it doesn't have The modern ones do, the old ones don't. But it looks wrong, and you suddenly realize that you just took a counterfeit bill. Moral question. What do you do with it?
You turn it into the treasury.
And then what happens to you?
You say, I'm a shop owner and I just got this.
And you're out $100. Morally.
What, you're going to pass it off to some other poor sucker? That's not fair. No, that's wrong. You can't do that to somebody else. It's an awful thing to do.
I'm not saying I would. I'm just saying that there's a moral dilemma there.
No, if it's like an innocent thing and you didn't know and you transact it, that's sad, but you wouldn't do that to someone.
Why don't you just wait for a mean person to come in? Of course, they'd have to buy $120.
It does seem somewhat problematic of how you're going to pass off another $100 bill. Traditionally, people don't go, give me my change in $100 bills.
That's true.
7-Eleven clerk.
That's why they should counterfeit ones.
It's a lot of work, though.
It's a lot of work.
It takes a while to make any money from that effort, really. All right, this isn't even drunk food. I saw this yesterday, and I went,
drunk food.
Okay, anyone who's done late night cooking or drunk food, you know what it is. There's certain things that you need. That's how chicken and waffles were invented, by
Fat
the way.
and sugar and sweet.
Yeah, and so let's say that you're a poor college student, though, and you're in like Davenport, Iowa, and you don't have a lot of money. Then you turn into this guy.
Oh,
you
sorry.
need to show.
Oh, yeah.
This is Chris Jorgensen, and he happily posted this picture of his drunk food, which was, of course,
oh my gosh,
Velveeta cheese and Pop-Tarts. And then he heated them, and he says, you ain't from Iowa if you've never had one of these.
Wow.
And so this went on Reddit and then went viral, and people started interviewing him. They started doing, Iowa State Police actually said, you're under arrest. That is the worst thing we've ever seen. He's like,
they said, this is not typical of people and what we eat in our state.
and then all the Iowans came out and said, yeah, it is. It's totally what we would totally eat. But I was talking to him yesterday. He's so funny. He said it got on Reddit and people were like being obsessed and like people were breaking down his like hypothetical budget and what it would take to reduce yourself to the level of Pop-Tarts and Velveeta cheese. And they're like, man, it's like he couldn't even afford ramen. It's that sad.
That is bad. You're right. He could have put the cheese on the ramen, but it'd be more acceptable.
That'd be really disgusting.
What
too.
when you were a young college student, what's the weirdest combo that you've eaten?
You could get a case of macaroni and cheese for $5, and so I had
Whole
macaroni
case.
and cheese pancakes.
Right.
I had macaroni and cheese sandwiches where it was 2 thin, crispy fried pieces of macaroni and cheese for bread, and then macaroni and cheese in the middle. You shot food. Like, you actually shot food on the ground to eat because you were that hungry.
I didn't shoot in the ground. I let it fly first, then I shot it. I went to school in Maine, in the middle of nowhere, and we were lumberjacks and wildlife management and forestry and all
This is
stuff.
the kind of college where you say, hey, lady, you want to see my chainsaw? It's in my dorm room. You really have one in your dorm room.
And it's not a metaphor.
It's not a metaphor.
It's like you smell like 2-cycle gas. It's great.
That would be my husband.
It's your cologne. So we did some hunting in the whatever. Where was I now? Oh, so.
But you were poor in what you ate in college.
Yes. So I'd buy a 25 bag full of macaroni, no cheese, because I guess you're all fancy. And then I ate, for protein, I ate chicken gizzards, chicken livers. There's another chunk of chicken that's not edible. What was it? Anyway. Oh, hearts. So I would live on those because back then you could get a quart of them like for 57 cents. And so that's what I survived on. Although once I did have some bread, and I opened my refrigerator and my cabinet, and I created the mayo and Tang sandwich. Tang, the breakfast drink that they had in space. You know. What? You okay?
At that point, wouldn't it have just been easier to sell your body for food, honey? I mean, really?
No, actually. What would I do with a quarter? Still's not enough to buy chicken parts. Anyway. So,
okay, so
yes.
really the Pop-Tart abomination really isn't that bad if you think about it.
Why are you so excited about Chris Martin from Coldplay?
Oh, no, I'm just thrilled because he's cool, but he's going to be on Modern Family. And he was talking to our guy here from Utah who's on Modern Family, and it was just really exciting. And apparently he called his mom and said, Chris Martin from Coldplay is going to be on the show with me. So I think that's going to be on November 29th. He's guest starring, and it's supposed to be epic. Now, you love Modern Family. You watch it all the time.
It's such a well-written show.
And it's so extremely funny.
You know, the funny thing is about it, and I think that one of the reasons I really like it is when they turn to the camera and they talk to the camera and they play, I don't know, I just like the confessional. It's just, to me, it's just hilarious.
And how delightfully oblivious some of them are. That's the best part.
And when they try to pick each other up and they do role play, like at a bar or something, and he walks in and he goes, yeah. She goes, who are you? And my name's Bob. I'm from out of town. I'm a dentist. And she goes,
you're ruining this, honey. Don't ruin it.
Anthropologist. Okay, bring it on. And I just think it's so funny. And he is from Utah, which I thought was kind of cool.
No, he's a wonderful man. He actually donates a huge amount of Modern Family swag and stuff to the Children's Center every year for their fundraiser. Yeah. And he's just really generous, an absolute sweetheart. And this is my favorite story of the morning, just because as a mom, it killed me. Michael Bublé, we've interviewed him many times before.
So nice.
Charming, good-looking guy.
Funny, too. Oh, my gosh.
Great albums.
So funny.
You may remember that you probably haven't seen him around for the last few years, and if you haven't heard, what had happened is he'd gotten married to a super adorable girl, and they're both super adorable and super, super cute. Well, last year he canceled all of his appearances. His 3-year-old son was diagnosed with cancer.
Ugh.
And he basically put out this thing. He had this massive schedule ahead of him. He had a new album to support. And
He's like, I'm so sorry.
He said, my Noah has cancer. And
Right.
he said, I am essentially putting my career on hold until my boy is better, until he's in remission. So he literally has been gone for almost a year and a half, taking care of his son. And I think about the incredible nature of a man who is literally on the cusp of A-list stardom.
Right.
And then his boy falls ill, which all of us would agree is more important, but nonetheless,
Yeah.
you think about that and it's like, you've got to be kidding me. And he said, yeah, I'm back now. He's in remission. Noah's doing okay. But he said, I can't, he says, I couldn't have done a thing until my boy was better. There's no way I could have. So he's back in concert now. So I'm going to totally go out and buy an album just to support him for being an awesome dad. But he is an amazing showman. So if you do get a chance to see him on the U.S. tour, he's totally worth it.
The meme that happens this time of year, and I saw it last year, this is prior to all his son being sick, is Michael Bublé, and they have him coming out of a cave. And the title is, It Must Be Christmas.
Michael
Bublé is back.
New album.
Anyway, hey guys, thanks for joining us today on the Todd and Erin Morning Stream on GepHardDaily.com. By the way, if you want to check out all the other shows, it's very simple.
You know what? Everything is there stored either on GepHardDaily.com. You can go to our YouTube channel, Todd and Erin Collard, or you can just scroll back on Facebook. But if you do miss the turkey video today, you can always find it on our YouTube channel, or just scroll back here. It's all here, all the time. Every second of the day or night, we are here for you.
Scary, isn't it? And we'd like to thank our sponsorships, too. Thank you very much. Todd and Erin Morning Stream. You guys have a good one. We'll see you tomorrow.
Hi everybody, it's Todd here, and we're going to do some roasting today on a Weber grill. Oh, by the way, how do you like my new drone camera? Pretty cool, huh? It's a stick. So how do you roast a turkey on a Weber grill? It's easy. As a matter of fact, I'm going to show you in 3 easy steps. Let's get roasting. All right, first of all, let's go through the setup. Baskets are in on either side. We've got the charcoal going, and the flaps are up, as you can see. We're going to put the charcoal half in either basket and then spray down the grill with some vegetable oil and then put the turkey on. Charcoal's going, top vent open 3/4, bottom vent open 1/4, and you put your bird on. Season it any way you want. Put the lid on. 90 minutes, come back and put 8 coals in either side, unlit, on either side, and cover it back up. Within 3 hours, you're going to have a Hollywood-looking turkey. All right, 90 minutes has gone by, and so we are now going to add the other briquettes
2, 4, 6, 8, 10. That's close enough. And then over this side, I'm going to do the same thing. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10. Doesn't matter. All right. Tin foil is off. Lid goes back on. Another hour and a half. And this is what you end up with. 3 easy steps. Happy roasting.